Marcus Aurelius was born in Rome on April 26, 1221 into a wealthy and recognized family. His father Marcus Annius Verus was a politician who had come to the rank of praetor, and his mother Domitia Lucilla was a refined and devout lady, the relative of an old consular family. Marcus Aurelius had a younger sister Annia Cornificia Faustina, with whom he kept up a great relationship all through his life from an early age. Marcus Aurelius appeared awesome insights and interest for information. He learned to peruse and compose in Latin and Greek and got to be curious about logic, history, writing, and rhetoric. His instructors were the foremost prestigious of the time, such as Herodes, Atticus, and one in Latin, Fronto, who lauded him for his ability and tirelessness. Marcus Aurelius too practiced speech, poetry, and theatre, and took an interest in the open wrangles held within the gathering. His character was humble, genuine, and kind. He endeavored to take after the statutes of impassive reasoning, which instructed him to control his interests, acknowledge his fate, and do his obligation. He maintained a strategic distance from extravagances and silly entertainments, driving an AER. He restrained life, with his mother ingraining in him regard for the conventional Roman religion, and he complied with the rites and offerings to the divine beings. His uncommon identity did not go unnoticed by the sovereign Hadrian, who met him when he was 6, a long-time ancient, and was awed by his bluntness and intelligence. Hadrian chose to receive Antoninus Pius, a removed relative of Marcus Aurelius, as his successor. He forced on him the condition that he in turn embrace Marcus Aurelius and Lucius Verus, another youthful man of respectable birth. Marcus Aurelius in this way got to be beneficiary to the majestic position of authority and got the title of Caesar when he was 17, after Marcus Aurelius arranged to accept the empire's government and gotten political and military instruction. He went with Antoninus Pius on his voyages through the areas. He got to be commonplace with the distinctive people's laws, traditions, and issues. He moreover married Faustina, the more youthful girl of Antoninus Pius, with whom he had 14 children, even though as it was 7 survived. Marcus Aurelius won the love and certainty of Antoninus Pius, who named him twice and related him with control amid the 23 long time of Antoninus Pius's rule. The Roman realm experienced peace and success. Marcus Aurelius created a fair, judicious, and generous ruler. In any case, he moreover confronted early troubles such as the revolts of the Jews and Britain and the danger of the Parthians and the Germans. When Antoninus Pius kicked the bucket, in 161 Marcus Aurelius was broadcasted head and chosen to share control with Lucius Infection, his embraced brother. Hence started an unused organize within the history of Rome, checked by wars, scourges, and crises. Marcus Aurelius ought to demonstrate his capacity to guard the domain and maintain harmony, whereas protecting his philosophical, perfect, and humanist work. Marcus Aurelius faced various challenges as head. Both inside and remotely he had to bargain with the results of the Antoninus Pius. This plague spread all through the domain and caused the passing of millions of people, counting his spouse Faustina, and a few of his children. He also dealt with asset deficiencies, expansion, debasement, social turmoil, and political tricks. One of the foremost genuine was that of Avidius Cassius, a senator of Syria who broadcasted himself head in 171, taking advantage of a wrong rumor, almost the passing of Marcus Aurelius. The usurper had the eastern provinces back, but his officers slaughtered him sometime recently. Marcus Aurelius stood up to him. Marcus Aurelius exculpated those included in the rebellion and refused to get Cassius' head as a trophy. But without a doubt, the most noteworthy challenge confronting Marcus Aurelius was the Wilderness Wars, which constrained him to spend most of his rule in military camps with his received brother and co-emperor Lucius Infection. He had to confront the intrusion of the Parthians, who had taken advantage of the passing of Antoninus Pius to assault the Roman areas of Armenia and Syria. Marcus Aurelius sent Lucius Verus to the Eastern Front, whereas he remained in Rome to go to the internal affairs. Lucius Verus succeeded in conquering the Parthians and recapturing control of the territories. Still, his conduct was less than excellent, as he has given himself to joy and extravagance, taking off the compelling command to his officers. Lucius Verus died in 169. As a casualty of torment or poisoning, and Marcus Aurelius was cleared out as the sole head. Marcus Aurelius confronted an unused risk. In no time after, the Germanic people groups living north of the Danube stream. These people groups, influenced by the movements of other brute bunches, propelled an arrangement of attacks against the Roman region, imperiling the solidness of the areas of Germania, Pannonia, Dea, and Savia. Marcus Aurelius personally moved to the northern front, where he driven a long and challenging campaign against the Marcomannic, the Sarmatians, and other people groups. Despite the troubles, Marcus Aurelius overseen to contain the trespasser progress and delivered a few conclusive routes. He also arranged peace with a few of them. He granted them lands and benefits in exchange for their devotion and collaboration. In any case, the war was never over, and Marcus Aurelius had to return to the front a few times, until his passing. Amid so numerous tribulations, Marcus Aurelius found solace in logic, which he had given himself since his youth. He was a loyal adherent of Stoicism, a school that supported reason, ethicalness, self-discipline, and acknowledgement of destiny. Marcus Aurelius composed his philosophical reflections in a work entitled Contemplations, which comprises 12 books composed in Greek. In them, Marcus Aurelius addresses himself and elucidates his moral standards and his counsel for administering his reactions of pretension and desire. His much appreciated to his instructors and sponsors, and his considerations on life and passing. The work may be a declaration to the intelligence, lowliness, and humanity of Marcus Aurelius, who considered himself a worker of the common great and who looked for harmony with nature and the gods. Marcus Aurelius passed on in 180 in Vindobona, today's Vienna, while planning an unused campaign against the Germans. His body was exchanged to Rome, and he was buried in Hadrian tomb, at the side of the remains of his spouse and children. The Senate lifted him, and extraordinary respect was paid to him. Child Commodus succeeded him in the position of authority, but his rule was ill-fated and stamped the beginning of the empire's decline. Marcus Aurelius was the final of the so-called 5 great heads and the final agent of the brilliant age of Rome. His figure has been respected all through history as an illustration of a fair ruler, shrewd rationalist, and virtuous man. Marcus Aurelius left a significant check on the history of the Roman domain, and in Western culture, his rule was the final of the so-called Pax Romana. 2 centuries after the domain came to its most extreme expansion and thriving beneath his rule, order, justice, resilience, and welfare of the citizens were kept up despite troubles and outside dangers. Marcus Aurelius was a sovereign concerned with the common intrigued. He attempted to run the show with intelligence and value, taking after the principles of impassive logic. His philosophical work Contemplations is one of antiquity's most fundamental and unique works. In it, Marcus Aurelius reflects on his life obligations as a sovereign. Ethical values, relationship with the divine beings and men, vision of the world, and fate. His fashion is basic and direct, and by uncovering, with awesome truthfulness and profound humankind, his contemplations are a source of motivation and reassurance for all those who look for ideals, joy, and the meaning of life. His figure has been appreciated and regarded by generations of students of history, logicians, scholars, and craftsmen, who have considered him a demonstration of a fair ruler, astute logician and ethical man. His picture has been delineated in various works of craftsmanship, such as figures, works of art, coins, and decorations. His memoir has been narrated by antiquated creators, such as Dion Cases, Herodian, and the Historia Augusta, and present-day creators, such as Edward Gibbon, Marguerite Youré, and Anthony Burley. His impact has expanded to different areas of culture, legislative issues, religion, and thought. Marcus Aurelius was the last of the 5 great sovereigns and the past agent of Rome's brilliant age.